touching an object can improve performance. Why high performers are superstitious in private. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Chen. I teach metaphysics and belief systems, which basically means I study how humans explain the things science hasn't fully answered yet. And one thing that always surprises people is this. High performers, the people who seem the most confident and competent, often have the most superstitious habits in private. They don't advertise it and they usually won't admit it publicly. But these small rituals show up everywhere. What superstition looks like in real life. You'd think superstition is something kids grow out of, or something only deeply anxious people rely on. But look closely at people who work at the highest levels. Athletes, surgeons, performers, traders, startup founders, and you'll find small rituals they treat very seriously. Not dramatic things, simple, almost ordinary behaviors. A basketball player who must tie his left shoe before his right. A singer who whispers the exact same phrase before walking on stage. A surgeon who won't step into the operating room until she taps her wrist twice. A trader who only checks the markets after placing his coffee on a specific side of his desk. An executive who keeps a particular pen only for signing important documents. Individually, these habits look trivial, but when you see how consistently they show up, especially in high-stakes environments, you realize they aren't random. Why rituals appear when the pressure rises? Let's be honest, most of us like to think we're rational. But rationality isn't the dominant force in your mind when you're about to perform under pressure. There's a pattern researchers consistently see. The higher the uncertainty, the more likely a person is to hold on to a ritual. This happens because the mind hates unpredictability. When the outcome matters and you can't fully control every factor, even a small predictable action feels comforting. A ritual doesn't have to mean anything. It just has to be yours. Think about athletes before a big match. They've trained for years, but once the whistle blows, so many variables are outside their control. A ritual, even a tiny one, becomes a psychological anchor. It tells the mind, at least this part is certain, what the research says. Studies in sports psychology show that when athletes perform their personal rituals, their anxiety decreases and their confidence increases. They don't think the ritual is magical, but it gives them a sense of readiness. Another study found that even simple good luck gestures, something as small as saying "I've got this" while touching an object, can measurably improve performance. Why? Because it boosts self-efficacy. You believe you can perform, and when you believe it, your body follows. Some neuroscience studies go a bit deeper. When people perform a familiar ritual before a stressful task, the brain shows reduced sensitivity to potential mistakes. Meaning, rituals dampen the fear of failure just enough for your skills to come through cleanly. So no, the rituals aren't magic. They're psychological stabilizers. Why high performers keep it private. Here's something interesting. Most high performers don't want anyone to know they do these things. Not because they're ashamed, but because they're aware how irrational it looks from the outside. If you're a surgeon with a national reputation, or a CEO leading thousands of employees, or a professional athlete, the last thing you want is people thinking your success rests on a piece of string or a pregame chant. So they keep these things quiet, out of sight, sometimes even from their closest colleagues. But in private, right before the moment that really matters, the ritual reappears. It's a quiet reminder. I'm in control of myself, even if I can't control everything else. What's the key takeaway from here? So what does all this tell us about human behavior? It tells us that superstition, in the context of high performance, is functional. It's about managing uncertainty. It creates a mental pocket where the noise settles down. And when the noise settles, your training, your preparation, and your skill finally get a fair chance to show up. High performers aren't superstitious because they're irrational. They're superstitious because they understand your mind needs stability before your talent can do its job.